Moravian Daily Text for Friday, 17th April 2026. Watchword. God, from the depths of the earth you will bring me up again. You will increase my honor and comfort me once again. Psalm 71 verses 20 to 21. Doctrinal text. And Jesus said, Young man, I say to you, rise. The dead man sat up and began to speak, and Jesus gave him to his mother. Luke chapter 7 verses 14 to 15.
Good day. I am the Reverend Dr. Jeremy Francis with today's meditation. Today's meditation is focused on Psalm 71, our watchword for today, and it simply states, and I read from the U.S. version, God, from the depths of the earth you will bring me up again. You will increase my honor and comfort me once again. Psalm 71, verse 20 through to verse 21. In this particular psalm, the psalmist is writing from a position of age. He is an older psalmist and an older believer who is now looking back at his journey with God. And having journeyed with God, he comes to certain conclusions. After this life journey, he knows for sure where his faith stands. Psalm 71, verses 20 through to 21, is looking back at life, but it's looking back at life through the lens of how God would have worked. We would have called this, through his own theological circles called it, through his own salvation history. And looking back at his salvation history, he's able to look back at his salvation history, but also at the same time look forward with hope. He looks forward with the hope and with the knowledge that God, who was with him in the past, is able to be with him in the future. The psalmist acknowledges that it was God's presence and God's rule in the midst of all of his past struggles, and he realizes that even as he was struggling then, that God was in complete control. He realizes that as he was journeying through life, that God was the one who was with him, and even through his difficulties, God had complete control of what it was going on. It is what we say in the Glorious Patri, as it was in the Gloria Patri, as it was in the beginning, so it shall be at the end. And my sisters and brothers, this is the word that we embrace today, that God, in the midst of all our struggles, we can be confident that God will do it again. Our salvation history should be of such that we are reminded that if God was with us in the beginning, that if God was with us through all the varying scenes of life, that this same God will be with us in the future. So today's watchword is a word of encouragement. Be not discouraged, be not dismayed. God will take care of us. We know too much about God, and we have experienced too much with God for us to begin now to doubt God. We know what God can do. It is no secret. What he's done for others, says the songwriter, he will do for us. We all have a history of God. We all know what God has done, how God has provided, how God has made a way. And in a time when life seems most uncertain, our watchword for today calls us to to look back at what God has done, and let our knowledge of God's action in the past be that which guides us for God's action in the future. We know what he's done. You could hear the psalmist? From the depths of the earth you will bring me up again. We know that God will do it again, and we can take comfort in that. And so, my brothers and sisters, as God would have done it for you in the past, he can do it again. So on this day, let's take this word with us throughout our day. He can do it again. He will do it again. He's done it before, and he's still God, still in control, and he will do it again. Have a great day, and God bless you.